Hey there, business historians. Welcome back to The History Business, where we explore the fascinating connections between historical events and modern business practices. Today, we're delving into the dark depths of medieval history to discuss the impact of one of the most devastating events of all time, the Black Death. This deadly disease wiped out a third of the European population, causing widespread panic and chaos. But did you know that it also had a significant impact on the economy and the way businesses operated? That's right, the Black Death had a long-lasting effect on business and society that are still felt today. So in this video, we'll explore how the plague shaped business and society during the medieval era. We'll look at the labor shortage that resulted from the plague, the changes in the social structure and trade, and how businesses adapted to these changes. But first, let's dive into the details of this deadly disease and its impact on medieval society. So buckle up and get ready to take a journey back in time to explore the dark and fascinating history of the Black Death and its impact on business and society. But before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. And if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. Alright, let's get into it. The Black Death swept through medieval Europe like wildfire, peaking in Europe from 1347 to 1351, killing an estimated 200 million people, and leaving devastation in its wake. It's still considered the most fatal pandemic in human history. The plague created religious, social, and economic upheavals with long-lasting effects on the course of European history. One of the most significant impacts of this disease was the reduction in population. The population of Europe declined by up to 50% in some areas, which had a profound effect on the economy and the way businesses operated. With so many people dying, there was a shortage of labor that affected every aspect of medieval society. Fields went untended, houses fell into disrepair, and businesses struggled to keep up with demand. This labor shortage had a significant impact on the way businesses operated. Some businesses were forced to shut down altogether, while others struggled to keep up with demand. This labor shortage also led to changes in the way that businesses hired and compensated their workers. Before the Black Death, workers were often at the mercy of their employers, who had the upper hand in the employment relationship. However, after the plague, workers had greater bargaining power, as their labor was in high demand. They were able to negotiate better wages and working conditions, which led to a more equitable relationship between workers and employers. Benjamin Dodds, an associate professor of history at Florida State University, has stated that, quote, according to some documentation, workers asked for double or triple whatever they'd earned before the bubonic plague, and they might have often gotten it. So the labor shortage that resulted from the Black Death had a significant impact on business and society during the medieval era. It led to changes in the way that businesses operated and the way that workers were treated. The Black Death also acted as a catalyst for changes in social structure and trade. Before the Black Death, medieval society was structured around a rigid hierarchy, with the nobility at the top, followed by the clergy, and then the common people. However, after the plague, this hierarchy began to break down. With so many people dying, there was a shortage of skilled workers and artisans. As a result, those who remained became more valuable, and they were able to prosper in this world of greater opportunity. This led to a more fluid social structure, where skilled workers and artisans were able to move up the social ladder. It also led to changes in trade, as the demand for luxury goods increased. With fewer people to produce those goods, they became more valuable, and trade became more lucrative. The changes in trade and the societal structure that resulted from the Black Death had significant impact on business and society. They led to new opportunities for entrepreneurs and innovators, as well as changes in the way that goods were produced and traded. Those that excelled in the art of entrepreneurship and negotiation won. The poor are less poor, and the rich are less rich. That's the bottom line, at least in countries where the employers are forced to be responsive to these new market dynamics. The Black Death significantly impacted both businesses and society in the medieval period. It resulted in a labor scarcity that compelled businesses to adjust, shifts in social hierarchy and commerce that fostered new prospects, and a more flexible society that appreciated the talents of skilled laborers and craftsmen. Let's examine how businesses adjusted to the hurdles presented by the Black Death and the enduring influence of this catastrophic event on modern business methods. In the previous part of this video, we discussed the labor shortage that resulted from the Black Death and how it affected the way that businesses operated. But the impact of the plague didn't stop there. It also led to changes in social structure and trade that had a profound impact on the way business and society worked during the medieval era. Before the Black Death, society was structured around the feudal system, which was based on the ownership of land and the allegiance of serfs to their lords. However, the plague disrupted this system, as many lords and nobles died, leaving their lands and wealth without an heir. This led to a shift in social structure as merchants and tradespeople became more influential in society. Merchants and tradespeople were able to take advantage of the opportunities presented by the labor shortage and the decline of the feudal system. They were able to accumulate wealth and power through their trade networks, which spanned across Europe and beyond. They also played a significant role in the growth of towns and cities, as they provided goods and services that were in high demand. This shift in social structure also led to changes in trade. Before the Black Death, trade was dominated by Italian city-states like Venice and Florence. However, after the plague, other cities and towns were able to establish themselves as major players in the trade networks of Europe. This led to a more diverse and competitive market, which was beneficial for both consumers and businesses. Thus, the Black Death significantly influenced business and society throughout the medieval period. It brought about transformations in social hierarchy and commerce, paving the way for new possibilities for merchants and tradespeople. These shifts also had a lasting effect on business operations and trade patterns across Europe. So there you have it, a comprehensive look at the Black Death's impact on business and society during the medieval era. This catastrophic event decimated 1/3 of Europe's population, but it also left a lasting imprint on the economy and how businesses functioned. The labor scarcity stemming from the Black Death prompted alterations in the hiring and compensation practices of businesses. Workers gained increased negotiation power, resulting in a more balanced relationship between employees and employers. The Black Death's influence on the economy and society was extensive, revolutionizing the way that people conducted business. So, what valuable insights can we glean from the Black Death and its far-reaching consequences on business and society? The key takeaway lies in the crucial ability to adapt to change. As the Black Death descended, businesses were confronted with a transformed landscape marked by dwindling workforces and reduced demand. It was those enterprises that managed to not only acclimate but innovate in the face of adversity, and they ultimately emerged resilient and prosperous. In today's fast-paced and ever-changing business world, the lessons of the Black Death are still relevant. We need to be able to adapt to change, innovate, and stay ahead of the curve if we want to succeed. So I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the impact of the Black Death on businesses and society during the medieval era. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on the rest of the series. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next episode of The History Business.